In this video we're going to be making this star bracelet, which is a 3-strand bracelet. For this you'll need 120 centimeters of nylon coated wire, 8 main beads and approximately 10 grams of seed beads. This is a size 10, a jump ring and clasp set and 4 crimp beads. So you're going to cut your wire so that you have one length at 80 centimeters and the other length at 40 centimeters. To get started, you're going to take the 80 centimeter length, thread one side through one of your jump rings on your clasp set and then let that drop to the middle, and then we're going to thread 2 crimp beads on these strands. So you're going to take both ends and you're going to be working them together, one left and one right. So that's the 2 crimp beads on there. Then we're going to let those drop down, slide them right down till they are near the clasp set that you added, and you're forming a loop there. Okay, so you let your crimp beads slide down to the bottom, get them as close as you can, and then we are going to take the piece of thread which is 40 centimeters and then thread it through these same crimp beads. So it's just, you can just about see it on the other side. And then just going to squish these crimp beads flat with my flat nose pliers. That's one squished. Squish the second one and then flip it over and squish on the other side just to make sure it's closed equally and has a good grip. And that there. It's squashed closed. Now we have 3 equal lengths of thread coming out of that crimp bead enclosure. So now if we take the left hand thread, so I have a left, a middle and a right, you're going to take the left and you're going to feed on 12 seed beads. And then we do the same with the middle, take the middle strand and thread on 12 seed beads. And then the same on the right side. So now we have 12 seed beads on each strand. Now if you take your left hand thread and you're going to take one of your large beads and thread it through, so you're going to feed it on like so. And then you're going to take your middle strand, move it there so you can see. So that's the left one on. Now we're going to take the middle strand and feed that through the same bead going in the same direction as the other one. So we've got 2 strands through there. Now we'll take the right hand thread and do the same again. through the same bead, going in the same direction. So now we have all 3 strands going through that one large bead. And then push that down so it meets the others. And then that's the effect you are looking for, where you have all the beads sitting nice and close together, like so. Then we're going to just carry on that same method. We're going to put 12 on each strand, 12 seed beads on each strand, then all the threads through one main bead, then carry on, so just repeat that. So how I check the length of my bracelet is I thread all the strands through the other side of the loop, pop it on my wrist, and I just pull it like that just to see if I want it bigger or smaller. So I'm going to take about, I think about four off each of these strands. So I'll have 8 seed beads on each side instead of 12. Okay, so I'm happy with that. So now, to seal your bracelet up and finalise the last section, you're going to add the 2 crimp beads on the other side. You're going to thread all 3 strands through these 2 crimp beads. So that's all 3 strands through there, crimp beads there. And then we'll just slide them down so they meet the last section, added the last section of seed beads. Then we're going to take one of these strands, doesn't really matter which one, but I tend to go for the one that is laying in the middle. If it's obvious it's in the middle, rather than taking one of the outer ones, I take one of the middle strand. I go through the jump ring on the other end of this clasp set, then back down to go in the opposite direction through these crimp beads that you just added. Like so. And then with your crimp beads as close to the last section of seed beads added as possible, hold them tight, and then move these out of the way. You're going to pull this strand tight so that it makes this loop get smaller, and you want it the similar length to the similar size loop to the one that you did at the start. Remember not to do it too tight because you want your jump rings to have some movement. Then once you have your loop the size that you want it, take your flat nose pliers and squash those crimp beads flat. Before you do actually seal the end up, make sure that all your strands are as tight as you want them to be. You don't want any loose sections where the beads are moving about more than they are in others. Squash one crimp bead, then squash the other, and then flip it over and squash again, just to make sure that it's tight on both sides. And then you're going to snip all this excess wire off. I just bend them out of the way of each other so that I'm snipping one at a time. So you want to try and make sure that you snip them as close as possible. If for any reason you find that you can't snip your wires as neatly and as close as you would like, you can put a little drop of nail varnish on the wire, on your strands of wire, just to remove any sharpness. And that is your bracelet complete. So that is it in two different colours, but the exact same pattern.